Hi, I'm Diane. Juneteenth is almost here, and I thought it would be great to share a few very cool Minecraft worlds that have been made by fellow educators. These all have equity and inclusion topics, and they're easy for you to find if you've got Minecraft Education Edition. Let's take a look. Here we are in Minecraft Education Edition. If you go into the Play button and click on View Library and choose Lessons, in this Equity and Inclusion section, there are 3 worlds that I wanted to draw your attention to. Lessons in Good Trouble, the I in Identity, and Who is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.? Let's start with Lessons in Good Trouble. First, you have some information that are teacher prep notes and all kinds of really cool things, links to lesson plan and all this other stuff. I'm just going to show you what the world looks like. So I'm going to create world. And you can see some of the folks that you'll meet in this world. First, go ahead and read the introduction and meet Congressman John Lewis, who's your guide for this time together. So, just to give you a heads up, you're going to meet folks from Black Lives Matter, Malala Yousafzai, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King Jr. I think we meet Rosa Parks too. Mahatma Gandhi, Emmeline Pankhurst, and you'll meet John Lewis again. You'll meet young John Lewis. Read through the information and follow the directions and learn about all different types of good trouble, the kind that John Lewis always told us we should be willing to engage in. Good trouble that has actually helped people to have freedoms and rights that everyone deserves. Let's go back out and take a look at the other ones. The I in identity. Again, there's information for teachers, student activities and an assessment. You can read more about that. You can look at the lesson plan. When I clicked on the lesson plan, it brought me here. So one of the things I find really interesting about this is that it asks students to think about the social factors that determine who you are. There's all these references and resources having to do with identity. And then what students are able to do in that building is build a museum of me. So it doesn't have anyone already in there. It's a space for the students to create a museum about themselves, representing their identity, and you could even have students design their representations in order of importance. So the things about their identity that they consider most important, or maybe perhaps the most obvious to other people as they encounter them. And they have a great idea for having the students write a short story or a Flipgrid video, some other creative pursuit that they can use to explain why is it important for us to better understand ourselves in order to better understand others. So that's a fun space that they can use for sharing about their identity. Let's go back and take a look at this one. Who is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.? This might be a helpful one. I'm going to open the lesson plan. I think this one uses the same world. So if if teachers wanted to use this first, talking about Dr. King's identity as kind of a precursor to students exploring their own identity. So this is the lesson plan for that. So there's the Create Your Own Museum world where they can use the information to create a museum about Dr. King, and then they can share maybe a walkthrough of their museum with explanations. So there's lots of cool resources and ideas in the lesson plan, and the world, I believe, is the same kind. Let's just double check. If I create this world, is it the same kind of world? Looks like it is. So this is a generic Museum of Me world that you can use for either lesson plan. The one about Dr. King, or the one where students create one about their own identity. Let's see what's upstairs. I probably shouldn't be running in the museum, but I'm excited. This space is pretty cool. One of the things I like about Minecraft Education Edition is that you can choose an avatar that looks like you. And there are lots of different choices. So you'll see story mode skin pack, lots of different skin tones and clothing choices, right? And even facial hair and different things like that. People with lots of different identities. And also, that's true when we look at everyday heroes. Okay, we can't see what race the astronaut is, but we have folks of different races in lots of different jobs. So a student can usually find, okay, those are just 3 Halloween costumes, that's silly. Students can usually find someone that looks somewhat like them Although this is not as diverse a group. City folk. Also not a very diverse group. I like my skin because I think it looks kind of like me. So here is an NPC that I created called Friendly Friend, and what does he do? Hello friend, do you need something to eat? And if I press one of the buttons, he will give me one of the food items. I've set him up with apple or bread, and if I go to my inventory, I had 4 and 1, now I have 5 and 2, so he's giving me apple and bread. Now how did I do that? Well, let me come over here, and I'll make a different Friendly Friend over here by the tree. Alright. First, you need to make sure you have World Builder mode turned on. Then you need an NPC egg, and you use that. And then you can change what the person looks like. Got a few different things to choose from. I like the glasses persons. And you can science person. Alright. You can edit their dialogue. I like trees. And I like bees. Alright. And then you can go into the advanced settings. You can have there be a link to an external website, or you can add a command. So I'm going to have give @player honey. Let's see if that even works. I don't know if that'll work. Make it a button. Honey. Alright, so we've done that. And now science person. Whoops, I have to come out of World Builder mode. And science person. Let's see if I have honey. I do not, because I don't think that's a thing. But it's getting dark, and there's a creeper, so I gotta go. Oh, there's a spider in my house. So I hope you found these worlds that we took a quick look at interesting and like something that you might want to have your own kids or your students explore. Even if school's out for you, you might be able to let your students know that these are fun worlds that they could play around with. Or you might be thinking ahead to when the school year starts and getting to know your new students. Black history doesn't just belong in Black History Month. And learning about one's identity and celebrating the lives and achievements of people of color don't just belong in certain months. Enjoy these worlds.